I...
So, they got you too, huh? What are you in for?
Malicious unhappiness.
That sounds like a semi-obscure reference someone might understand and post about in the comments.
What?
Oh, nothing.
What about you? What are you in for?
That is a long story. When we last left off, I had just rolled my 5th chunk. I'm a chunk man, which means that I have to complete every possible skill requirement and collection log in a 64 by 64 sized area before I can move on to the next one. I'm 12 episodes in, so you're probably thinking, wow, this guy knows what he's doing.
Well, you're in prison, so...
And I thought so too. But while I was recording some B-roll for the end of the last episode, I muted my microphone input and forgot to turn it on for a couple of weeks.
That still doesn't explain what you're doing in prison.
Well, I have a couple weeks worth of recordings that are completely silent, and I need a new format to share my progress updates. So, I'll start from the beginning.
Hey, wait, I did not sign up for a flashback.
Like I mentioned, I had just unlocked my 5th chunk, and I set out to explore the new land available to me. I had just a couple of chunk tasks, to finish the sheep shearer quest, and to dye a cape yellow. Dyeing the cape was easy, but the sheep shearer quest was going to take a bit more time. I didn't have access to a spinning wheel, so I had to kill a little over 300 imps to get my 20 balls of wool to finish the quest. My only imp spawn was in this tiny area next to Draenor village, and it would often teleport behind the stone wall. I used my ult to reset the spawn every time that happened. Once I had the balls of wool, I went to turn them in. When I did, Fred the farmer accused me of shearing his sheep without permission.
Which is why you're in prison?
No, this is actually the first time I've ever done this quest where I didn't shear his sheep to get the balls of wool.
So why are you here?
I'm getting there. My next chunk roll was South Falador Farm, which is a scary unlock because it puts me right next to 2 death chunks. It also unlocked the fishing and cooking grind, leaving me with 5 total tasks. To wield an adamant weapon from the Port Ceramac shop, bake an anchovy pizza at 55 cooking, catch raw anchovies at 15 fishing, and to start 2 new quests. The quests in the adamant weapon were easy, but the fishing and cooking took some time. I did some time tests to see if net fishing was somehow better than bait fishing, but it wasn't even close. So I hunkered down with 3,000 fishing bait and got it done.
Fishing without a license?
Nope, I'm getting there. After I was done fishing, I cooked them on the forest's campfire and got up to 55 cooking. The anchovy pizza was easy to assemble, and I made a few extra in case I burnt the first one. With that chunk completed, I rolled a scary one. Southwest Lumbridge Swamp. That adds another death chunk to my pool of rollable chunks. Only one chunk task here, to get leather gloves, so I knocked it out and went right back to rolling.
Stealing from that old man.
Nope, 3 of my 10 chunks were death chunks at this point. Any one of those could send me into a grind that will take well over a year. Fortunately, what I lack in monster loot luck, I make up for in chunk roll luck. We got Falador South. 1 chunk task to purchase an adamant chain body from the shop, quick and easy, and we're back to rolling. I unlocked the Port Sarum jail next, which is where we are right now.
So we're getting close.
Not really. The jail isn't the important unlock here. It's the Asgarnian ice dungeon to the south. Before we go down into it though, look at this Black Knight. It looks like someone left him out in the sun for too long. Poor guy. Anyways, we needed 2 drops from the ice giants and the ice warriors in the dungeon. A black kite shield and a mithril mace. Wouldn't you know it, I went dry on these drops too. Next, I rolled Lumbridge, which had a ton of small tasks that took me roughly 10 minutes to complete. This is the first time I was able to use the home teleport spell, so that's neat. After exploring for a bit, I remembered that I had a clue scroll step in Lumbridge, so I completed that and got a casket. I don't currently have a way to access both the cowl and van braces, so that's a nice little upgrade. We'll speedrun through those tasks now. I finished Cook's Assistant, started the Restless Ghost quest, and got my Amulet of Ghost Speak. Got a training sword and shield, and a training bow and arrows. Caught a salmon. Finished the X Marks the Spot quest, which unlocked the ability to get scroll boxes. Started the Rune Mysteries quest, and finally dug for the Ornate Legs, a special cosmetic that was part of one of the Crack the Clue events. And then, it happened.
The reason you're in prison.
No, I rolled the golden chunk. The chunk that gives me the best tools and training methods to tackle the looming death grind. This was the best possible scenario. Falador West.
What's so great about that?
Two things. The furnace is magnitudes better than the one in Lumbridge for how close it is to the bank. And this pub, the Rising Sun Inn, is the only place in free-to-play that you can get the Dwarven Stout. When drunk, it gives you a +1 boost to your smithing level, which means that any smithing grind I have in the future will always be one less than it would have been before. That also means that when I have to smith the rune plate body, which requires 99 smithing, I only have to get 98 smithing, which is over 1,000,000 smithing XP difference. This is huge. But those unlocks aside, I do have a few chunk tasks to take care of. Adamant Mace is easy, just purchase that from the shop. Changing my gravestone to an angel gravestone cost me 200,000 gold, but I already had that much from previous grinds. The last task, to cut a sapphire, isn't as easy as you might think. I already have a bunch of uncut sapphires in my bank, but in order to cut them, I need 20 crafting. The only training method I have is to spin wool into balls of wool, and at 2.5 XP per ball of wool, this is going to take a bit. So off to Fred the farmer's farm to shear his sheep.
And he mentioned before that he doesn't want you shearing his sheep, so he had you arrested.
No, he didn't seem to mind. But this is the point that I figured out that my mic input wasn't muted. Here's my live reaction. I just realized that my mic has been muted for I don't know how long. Whoops. Whoops indeed. I used the NPC highlight plugin to make this grind actually brain dead. In total, I needed 1,728 balls of wool, and it took me about a week. I cut the sapphire and went to roll my next chunk.
That's a lot of death chunks. You can't avoid those forever.
You're right, I can't. We actually have my live reaction to this chunk roll. Let's play it. Oh no! Oh. Wait. I could have sworn that said Dorix, but it has this one unlocked? What? Am I crazy? Hang on, I gotta look at that recording. Small moment of confusion. This was a visual bug related to the sailing update, messing with the chunk picker a bit. The chunk that I initially thought I rolled was the worst possible option between the death chunks. It would have required me to train mining to level 30 using exclusively blue-rite ore, which is guarded by the ice giants and ice warriors I had to kill earlier. After that, the only bars I could smith would have been mithril and adamant. Not great. Fortunately, the chunk I actually rolled was Falador East. This was the best possible option between the death chunks. This gives me access to the Dwarven Mine, which has a ton of ore rocks, and most importantly, a rune pickaxe. And that brings us to the present, where we are today.
I don't get it. Why are you in prison right now?
Oh, my prison is more of a figurative concept than an actual prison. I can leave anytime. I'm only here to contemplate the level 87 smithing prison I just rolled.
You've got to be kidding me.
I hope they release you soon. You've been a great listener. I'll come back and post bail if I ever find myself with enough cash. Until then, I've got a new chunk to explore. Good luck!
Good luck! Man says good luck, comes here, talks my ear off, talks about bail.
That's where we'll end the episode today. Thanks for joining me. This video was particularly challenging, but I had a ton of fun making it. Special shout out to my wife for agreeing to voice act for me. Something tells me that this isn't the last we'll hear from her. I would love it if you join my Discord server. I have some projects that I'm workshopping behind the scenes, and Discord is going to be the best place to get updates and be involved. You can also chat with me and others from the community. The link is down in the description. Right, that's all for now. In the next episode, I'll be breaking down the math and how long this death chunk will actually take. Time for me to get to it. See you next time.